Namaskaram and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. I hope you have subscribed to our channel. We are galloping towards, or actually I should say we are walking very fast towards 250,000. We would like to gallop. We would love your support. Please help us, refer us to your family, friend, and help us grow, because it is important that we reach the 250,000 milestone. Then we can get you quality hangout experts, in addition to our peerless Professor R. Vaidyanathan, who's our guest today. Professor RV, Budget 2021, what are your thoughts, sir?
Very good. Already so much has been talked about. There was a very interesting, tweet by the WhatsApp I got. Very interesting on January 30th, January 31st. Sorry, the budget was presented on 1st February. January 31st, the number of economists in India are 840. 840. On February 1st, the number of economists are 23,400. And February 2nd, it is 24,700. And February 3rd onwards, again 840. So, this indicates the enthusiasm of people. Everybody becomes like, when the corona or Chinese virus was in 4, everybody became a pandemic expert. All people were having their own views and everything. And petrol prices go up, everybody becomes oil expert. Like that, it's the social media has made there are no distinction between those who are knowledgeable and those who are speculative and those who are rumor mongering. All are in the same bracket. Anyhow, the budget is as usual, the opposition parties are told the budget is not helpful to the people and it is for crony capitalist and other thing. That is expected actually. And the ruling party, some of the ministers have priced it sky high, that it's revolutionary, path breaking, once in 100 years. Actually, 2021 comes once in 100 year only. Not then you have to wait for 3021 next, another 2021 will never come again. So anyhow, that type of price. And fundamentally the problem is there is a huge amount of unemployment in the country, and there is a need to push this up in terms of economic activity. And there is a V type of recovery. Somebody told, I do not know, some government official or so. So everybody jumped on that V recovery there. V-shaped recovery there. What is V-shaped recovery? Many may not even know about it. Anyhow, that is the expectation. But the fact of the matter is, the first quarter of this 1920, we had a 2021, we had this minus 24% as growth rate, minus 24. And the next quarter, it was no better actually. It was again minus 7.5. So it is a third quarter result are expected in the end of February only. Very sad actually for a country of renowned statisticians and economists, that third quarter is actually, that you remember, we start on April 1 and go up to March 31st. So third quarter is November, December, October, November, December, which will come in end of February, the results. We are waiting. But in between, reports suggest we may end up this year with something like minus 9% or that type of a thing. But next year, it is forecast that we are going to grow something like the 11%, 12%, different estimates are there. Kindly note, even if we grow in 21-22, it is after such a decline. This is very important to note. So it is not growth based on such a low level. That is one thing. And second is the budget. A significant amount has been allotted, and as expected, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and West Bengal are major beneficiaries of the allocation, because all the three states elections are expected to come. It is natural for governments to boost infrastructure investment in these three states, assuming that it is going to produce desirable results for the ruling party at the center. More than that, there have also been significant amount of efforts in terms of increasing the infrastructure spend across the board, and they have also increased the um, you know what they call the cess on in order to generate a certain amount of benefit for the this corona efforts and other thing. But interestingly, that cess is not going to affect the consumers. What they are going to do is they are going to adjust it in terms of excise duty and customs duty. So existing issue of prices are not going to be affected. But there is a catch. What is the catch? Since it is a cess, it need not be shared with the state government. If it is a tax directly, it has to be shared with the state government. For instance, this Naveen Patnaik, who is the Chief Minister of Orissa, has rightly pointed out, this increasing cess and increasing this type of thing is actually harming the sharing of resources. The Finance Commission report has also come yesterday. The last Finance Commission basis, something of the order of 45, nearly 50% was supposed to be shared with the state. And I'm sure this Finance Commission, if at all, would have increased it. I have not gone through the complete report as of now. Anyhow, the cess increase has not been highly appreciated by many of the state government because of the issue of sharing with the state and the center. Second is, I expected some amount of steps to be announced in reducing the government activity, government expenditure. One, of course, is announced this all these central public undertakings. Some of them will be, divested. This divestment, I always call it, is like the American dream. Americans always say that they are in search of happiness. That is one of their motto. They have never told that they will reach happiness. They are in the process of searching. So they will, like that, our divestment. Many people may not realize Arun Jaitley was one of the original cabinet in charge for divestment. That time it was Department of Divestment. I think if I remember, he succeeded in some Lahan missionary manufacturing or something in the eastern part of the country. It was divested. That's only. And then we had a cabinet minister, Arun Shauri, under Vajpayee government. And several other efforts have been done. It's not been very, unfortunately, successful. Let us see how much this coming divestment is going to generate. They are expecting to generate 1.4 lakh or 1.5 lakh crore. But we have to wait and see. And that's expected to be a very huge source of income. And my own hunch is this family of 20, as well as this Nakshals and various other Breaking India forces, will make a big issue to prevent it. They will again start like your Kisan Andolan, they're blocking Delhi, and the what you call Mazdoor struggle will be on a much broader scale. Basically, the aim of some of these opposition party, the family of 20, I call it, as well as Congress, is to make this government a lame duck government. To some extent, they have already succeeded in terms of various other activities have been reduced or stopped or something. So the one issue of concern is the fiscal deficit. Of course, our original fiscal deficit under FRBM is expected to be around 3.5, not exceeding 4%, and fiscal deficit in terms of percentage of GDP. But now it has been told this year it is estimated to be 9.5, or it's a very high order of magnitude compared to our FRBM restriction. But that by itself is not a major cause for concern. But the only issue is this is the central fiscal deficit, central government. If you add all the state government deficit also, it could be as high as 13 to 14%. And if you add all the PSU's liabilities, which according to me is also a government deficit, it could be 15%, which is a very, very large number to look at. And the budget proclaims that we will reach our original target in another 3 years or something. I'm highly skeptical about it, because next year fiscal deficit is estimated to be 6.5. It's not very easy to bring it back unless you cut down government expenditure. I've been suggesting that significant number of departments can be closed in the center, because as per finance commission, substantial amount of money is transferred to the state government. So why have one agriculture department at state level as well as at the central level? Why have steel ministry when there is steel is unregulated? There is no regulation for steel. And I asked, they say we have to appoint sale chairman. To appoint a chairman of a company, you don't have a ministry employing hundreds of people. Then we have some, this Prashar Bharati, which has got some 70,000 people. Then, every ministry is huge paraphernalia, which is not required. Child and welfare. Child welfare is there in the state also. Once you have shifted the funds to the state government, why do you require to duplicate it at center? So we have to cut down the central government expenditure by cutting down most of these ministries. Actually, that's the main focus. I expected that to happen, but unfortunately, everybody starts with an assumption that our government, machinery is optimal. If at all they want more government people to be recruited, and the reservation and all the things will start. So unless we cut down on expenditure, it is not going to happen. Cutting down means really cutting down, sending people off. And other is, in terms of course, we have to send people off giving VRS in the sense, but that's a once in a time spending. It is worth it. Other cause for concern is retail inflation. Already it is hovering around 8%. And in this budget, not much steps have been taken to increase the demand side of the picture. Everything is talked about in terms of creating bank and in terms of creating, new avenues for financing entrepreneurs. But demand side, I mean, is cutting down on income taxes and the middle class getting some extra fund in their hand. The one of the uh, totally neglected group in this budget is middle class. They have not got any. Of course, the tax rates have not gone up. That itself is a very great favor, you may say, and but it is as it is. So there is no benefit on the demand side. In the absence of benefit on the demand side, I am not sure how much of activities will pick up. For instance, I told, I think earlier, there is a restaurant owner near my home. I asked him, "Are you getting more funds from bank?" He says, "Professor, I can get any amount of funds from bank. That's not the issue, which I have to repay. But my problem is getting customer. In the peak of the time, in the prior to the Chinese virus, Friday evening, if I go to his restaurant, I cannot enter. I have to sit outside. He will give some token. Accordingly, I will be called. Sometime when I am eating, one fellow will come and stand next to me, looking at my leaf. Because when are you going to get up time? And if I order one more item, he will be very unhappy because he wants me to get lost. So that type of enthusiasm, and finally coffee, he will say, "Why don't you take the tumbler and other thing and go out and drink? Why you? It's not required for you to sit here and drink." Today, he says he gets hardly 2, 3 customers. He has put lot of these, what do you call, hand wash, sanitizer. He has put a glass partition, so much, and that is what is very important. That's what we call on the demand side. So unless you increase some amount of cash in the hands of people, I have been suggesting up to 10 lakh, do not tax anybody. Leave them up to rupees 10 lakh is, these days even average bribery for government employees is around 1 lakh. Anything less than that, they are not comfortable at all. Recently, some raid was conducted and some 70 lakh or 80 lakh were recovered from one of the engineers. All the other engineers were very upset because they say, what is this 70, 80 lakh, less than a crore we don't talk these days, and this fellow has brought down our, what one can call level. And that is the type of thing. So I have been suggesting up to 10 lakh and 10 to 30 lakh, put 10% and above 30 lakh, 20%. That's all. Nothing more or nothing less. Similarly, senior citizen above 30 lakh only tax. Otherwise, do not tax. A huge amount of concession as if it is given is people who are above 75, they say need not file income tax if you get pension income and interest income. That is something as if the same benefit can be given to even people above 60 if you get only pension income and interest income. Why above 75? Anyhow, these are what you may loosely call idiosyncrasies of the government which you can never explain properly. Anyhow, that as if it's a major concession, because above 75 many people cannot even sign properly. Their hands will be shaking so much, and these are harassment actually, if you ask me. It's not any. So above 60 there should not be any tax. Only above 30 lakh people can be taxed at 20%. This is what I suggestion I give, but they have not touched that portion at all. So in the absence of demand side getting increased, I am really concerned about inflation trends. What type of things could happen? Plus this 13-14% fiscal deficit. Obviously, you have to print notes. More number of notes if you print, more number of issues of inflation. So we should be very cautious. On one side, we may get into stagnation in terms of not able to sell goods and other things. And on the other side, because of the restricted amount of demand side, inflation could also be zooming up. In which case, there is a situation called stagflation, stagnation plus inflation. And it would take several years for us to recover from that. I only hope the powers that be are aware of the possibility of stagflation and take adequate steps in order to mitigate the issues. So the middle class is having large amount of expectation. Unfortunately, that has not been fulfilled in this budget. But let us hope that some of the spending on infrastructure and other thing would facilitate faster growth. That is the hope, and particularly in the post-pandemic situation. So we have to wait and see the results which are coming out, particularly on the divestment side. I am very skeptical given the nature of the opposition by the political parties, and the farm laws, how much problem they are undergoing. Earlier, the what one can call the Citizens Act also, they have not formulated any rules or guidelines for the CAA. So similarly, on the form, there it is being told that nearly for 18 months it will be kept pending. So there is a concerted efforts by opposition to block and make this government lame duck. What the government should have done, obviously, is the scamsters of pre-2014 should have been brought to book. Very unfortunate, let me be very frank. Not a single person has been put inside, including the NDTV television channels, including the 2G cases, including that of Chidambaram. Hundreds can be listed. National Herald case, so many, but
Can you see
nobody
this,
has
sir?
been.
Can you see
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
sir?
Yes, yes. I have been telling about it also.
So this is coming out
What
soon,
has
sir.
this has given rise to substantial amount of what would aggression on the part of the opposition. That means we cannot be touched type of thing. I think it is very important. Steps should be taken to uh, hasten, fast track many of these cases and bring people to book. Then only there will be a concern or worry about that there is a crime and there is a punishment. and that is not there. And that alone can facilitate newer and sort of a loss, as well as bring to people to book mean they will be worried. Actually, you see this so much is talked about this Kashmir, that land grab by the Abdullahs and other thing, but nonchalant they are becoming. Everywhere they are getting bail or moving around, and there is no concern at all. And ED raids and other thing are conducted, and they have become some sort of I shouldn't use the word, but joke only. And they say that what is this? Today is Friday, so this Karnataka minister should be raided. Karnataka opposition leader should be. He has been raided several times actually, and nothing has come out of it. He is very happily going around, and so same way in many other states and other. I think the government should tighten, become very critical. One or two at least should be put as an example. In terms, of course, we may say Jayalalitha, but that was all due to private effort. One was due to Dr. Swami, other was this Lalu Yadav was not due to this current government or anything. It was earlier case itself. The point I want to stress is any process, any type of new initiatives to be undertaken by the government is going to be blocked by the family of 20 political parties to prove the government to be lame duck. And one of the thing which is going to be impacted will be the divestment. So in that context, a lot of the expectation of the budget could go berserk or ever. So the government should be aware of it, and government should become much more active in terms of telling these opposition parties that in a democratic way only you can function. You cannot try to block. Like they supported, or the thing was voted. These farm laws were all voted in both the houses of parliament, and it went to president, got the assent. But today again they want to raise it. Today mean actually I'm telling the 2nd of February. Again they want to raise it in Rajya Sabha, and as if it was never. If I remember, 4.5 hours it was discussed actually. So the assertive government is today very much required. This is what my point is. In order to fulfill large number of expectations of the budget. So thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And it is my hope also that this government has talent, or some of it. Some of them are pretty talented, except that we don't see any action. So it's like somewhere somebody is holding them back, and I can't, for my understanding, I just can't understand why this kind of thing happens. If the BJP party is a party with a difference, if it is a clean party, if it's an honest party, they should have no trouble at all going after the other side, which is known to be corrupt. So we'll see what happens, sir. As always, a pleasure having you on our channel, sir. And viewers, please do subscribe to our channel. Thank you and namaskaram.
Thank you.